Greetings, everyone. Well, it is 4K update today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Continuing on from last time with the Star Trek collection. Well, we've got more stuff for the Star Trek collection. So last time we talked about all the various TV shows that I got into the collection for the first time or upgrading and stuff like that. Today we have a very significant set of, well, pretty big upgrades for me, because I completely avoided the Blu-ray releases of these titles, namely the Star Trek movies. Yes, I'm happy to report that at long last, it only took 24 years, we actually have decent high-def versions of all 10 of the original Star Trek movies. So let's check them out today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, as most of you who've been viewers of mine for a long time will know, I was not thrilled with the Blu-rays of the Star Trek movies that we've had over the years. Yeah, I think it was 2009, they put all 10 of them out on Blu-ray, and I was all excited. I was like, oh yeah, great, because all I'd had previously, and still have, is the 10 deluxe edition DVDs that came out in the early 2000s. Now, those are great sets for the early 2000s on DVD, but, you know, I love those movies. I've watched the Star Trek movies, the original crew ones especially, over and over again, so many times over the years. They're longtime favorites. I love them all. I just wanted to have a decent high-def version. Is that so much to ask? So, 2009, the new Star Trek movie, the first of the Kelvinverse trilogy, as it's come to be known, came out, and I guess to cross-promote and cash in with that, Paramount put out the original 10 movies on Blu-ray for the first time. And then we saw them. And they basically became the poster children for how not to do Blu-rays of old movies. To say they were DNR smearfest is an understatement. I was so pissed off. I was just absolutely outraged by just the laziness of these releases, because it became really obvious right off the bat that these were not new transfers. These were not new masters. They had just taken the old-ass masters that had been done for the DVDs, which had been mastered in 1080p, but DNR'd to hell, because DVD, they have to DNR them for DVD, because MPEG-2 compression at 480p resolution cannot handle all the grain and fine detail, so they smear them out of existence. They look good on 480p, like on DVD, but you can't just take those and slap them on a Blu-ray. Well, at least you shouldn't, but that's what they did. So, since 2009, we have had awful Blu-rays, and they've just been endlessly re-released and repackaged, release after release after release. And like, oh look, we got some new extras on there. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I want the movies in nice quality. Now, in 2016, there was some light at the end of the tunnel when we got this for the 50th anniversary. A beautifully remastered edition of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And, whoops, it's falling out of the slipcover, yeah. So it has the slipcover, same artwork inside, not really, big deal. And this 50th anniversary banner, which you can take off if you want, but I like to leave it on because, well, it's just part of the collectibleness. But there was a problem with that. There was a couple of shots that were either missing or wrong, so they reissued it. They listened, and they reissued it. They did not offer a disc replacement, to my knowledge, and they had to repurchase it. If you want to know the difference and how to tell them apart, the original version has a white-colored UPC on the back. The reissue with the corrections has a yellow UPC on the back. And there you go. That's how you tell the difference. So, in my case, I really wanted to support this release and say, yes, remasters, desperately needed, thank you. And not only that, this presents 2 cuts of the movie, the original theatrical and a slightly extended director's cut, which is pretty cool. I don't know that that was actually available prior to that, so that was pretty neat. So not only did we get a remaster, we got a director's cut of the movie. How cool is that? But alas, after this, the 50th anniversary came and went, we just got yet more re-releases of the same garbage transfers. The difference being, Star Trek II was the new transfer, and looked great, but everything else still looked like ass. It wouldn't be for another 6 years until we finally got wind that they were doing new transfers of all 10 movies. And yes, at long last, we finally got proper transfers of all 10 movies, and not only on Blu-ray, but in 4K. This is the Next Generation set. We, of course, also got the original crew collection, all 6 movies. Now, I should mention also, the 2009 transfers have been 100% retired. We will never see them again, God willing. And these sets include both the 4K and the Blu-ray, and the Blu-rays also use the new transfers. How cool is that? So we got that. And just to round it out, they also put out a new set of the Kelvinverse in 4K as well. But it doesn't end there, because the original crew set contains the director's cuts of the first movie, the director's edition of the motion picture as it's called, the director's cut of Star Trek II, and the extended cut of Star Trek VI, I think it is. Should say on the back here. Yeah, Star Trek VI had an extended cut. So it has all the alternate cuts except for the special longer version of Star Trek the Motion Picture. Yeah, that's the one that has about 12 minutes of additional footage. I think it was originally the network television version, and that's the version that I had on VHS for many, many moons. So I've always wanted to have, you know, a modern version of that you know, looked nicer than the old full-screen VHS tape, you know? But there was a problem with that. With Star Trek the Motion Picture, in the special longer version, there was a shot that had unfinished effects. You actually saw, it was like a shot when, I think it's when Kirk is coming out to follow Spock as he's going to investigate Voyager. So you see Kirk leaving the, you know, the back of the Enterprise. So all around him is just like the scaffolding and unfinished set in that shot. So that was a problem. And then the director's edition, which came out in 2001? Yeah, 2001, was a DVD exclusive. So all the special effects had only been done in 480p. Also, I'm not crazy about the director's edition, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's nice to have the beefed up special effects in a few shots, but I just don't like that version of the movie. Like, it changes a lot of the sound effects, it changes a lot of the sort of beats of the, you know, some of the dramatic scenes, and I don't know. I mean, as much as I love Robert Wise, I just wasn't wild about this cut of the movie. So I really just wanted to have the special longer version, which is the version that I saw the most growing up. It's got the most footage of the movie. I know a lot of people are like, oh God, it's so boring to begin with. Why would you want it even longer? Well, because I'm one of the crazy people who actually loves the motion picture. So, thankfully, a lot of other people love the motion picture as well. And they put out this big deluxe edition of the motion picture. And this is the only place you can get all 3 cuts in high definition. And more specifically, you can only get all 3 cuts on the 4K discs. For whatever reason, the Blu-ray only has the theatrical and director's edition. The 4K has the theatrical director's edition and the special longer version. Not only did they fix the erroneous shot that I mentioned, but they actually went back and re-rendered all of the special effects that they'd done for the director's edition and put them back in 4K. So this was like a ground-up restoration rebuild just to create the ultimate edition of Star Trek the Motion Picture. If you're a fan of the motion picture like I am, get this edition. It's so good. Unfortunately, it was also very limited. So, yeah, I had to get it on the aftermarket. It didn't cost me much more than it did originally, so no big deal there. I just really wanted it in the collection. But it's kind of puzzling how, for whatever reason, the special longer version is only on the 4K discs, whereas all the other cuts are available on the regular sets. So, I don't know what to tell you. I think these box set editions, like these collections, are out of print. I think they were limited as well. But they have put out standalone editions of all 10 movies in 4K and Blu-ray as well. Just make sure you're getting the 2022 or later releases if you want to be guaranteed you've got the new transfers. I mean, the old transfers aren't on 4K anyway, so if you're just buying the 4Ks, you've got the new transfers. But if you're going for the Blu-rays, make sure they're the later releases and not the old 2009 ones or one of the umpteen repackages. So it's great that at long last I can replace the DVD sets. Although I'm not going to replace them. I'm still going to hang on to them because they're actually really cool sets. But it's nice that we finally have properly done high-def versions of the original movies. So, why don't we head down to the table, and you may notice that other than this one, because I wanted to watch it because I just love this movie, these ones are all still packaged up. So why don't we go to the table here and we'll do a quick unboxing and check out the innards, shall we? All right, let's start with the set of the original Crew movies. Definitely the ones I've rewatched the most over the years. So here we got the cover, very nice montage of characters. And then we got the spine there, and the top, and the bottom if you care, and then here. So you can see that we have, they actually put two keep cases in, so one for the 4Ks and one for the Blu-rays. It's kind of similar to how Universal did the Battlestar Galactica set a while back, where they had everything separated nicely. So let's open this bad boy up. I have not opened it yet, so kind of eager to get in here and rewatch the old faves. See them in their new and improved form. There we go. Very nice. So as you can see, it looks completely different without the saran wrap. And there we go. So let's slide these bad boys out. This nice interior there. So, ta-da! We have both 4K and Blu-ray. So if we take a look at the backs here. Go. And let's see if we open up the Blu-rays. I'm guessing they're all going to be blue. Yep, sure enough. They're all blue. So this one, we only have the director's edition and the theatrical cut of the motion picture, by the way, if I didn't mention that clearly before. Even though they both say the director's edition. And we have both cuts of Star Trek II and both cuts of Star Trek 6. And there you go. So as I mentioned before, this is the same transfers on the Blu-rays that they used for the 4Ks. So we take a look at that. On the back. And then inside. Oh, digital copy codes? Oh yeah, look at that. I didn't know we had digital copies as well. Oh, hey, look at that. We actually have liner notes about, about the director's edition? Oh, yeah, it's from Robert Wise, I guess from 2001, back when they did the director's edition originally. So, there we go. Same thing, just the much snazzier black label 4Ks. Very nice. I suppose I could have straightened all the discs, but Why bother? You get the idea. I'm just going to put this other digital code back in. Oh, I see. It's a different code for each movie. That's what it is. So this one has the blurb about the motion picture because it's the code for the motion picture. Specifically for the director's edition, I believe. Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they remastered that and 4K'd it and everything, but it really just is not my favorite cut of the movie. And I know I'm in a minority like that. I know a lot of people really like the director's edition, but what can I say? I prefer the special longer version. And speaking of course, have the special limited edition of Star Trek the Motion Picture. Nothing on the back. But this is the complete adventure, as they call it. That. We open it up. Just stars on the back again. But again, on the inside, we have the note from director Robert Wise. Which I guess you can pause if you want to read all that. Quite nice. That is the same note that is in the case, as far as I know, of the set. We have just an ocean of pack-in material here. This is ridiculous. I think we're actually going to do like a dedicated closer look to this at some point, just to show you everything that's in here. It's pretty neat. And then as for the discs themselves, they are in here. This lovely picture of the Enterprise with the discs in sleeves. Now, if we pop all these out, oh God, oh no, there we go. Okay, so this disc is there, no, there. The director's edition with special features. I'll set these aside so we can get a better kind of look at them. And yeah, this just yeah, this just says feature films and special features. This is the disc that has the theatrical cut and the special longer version. So there you go. And then here, this is the bonus disc. There. Which really, I don't think has much on it. But, or maybe, well, maybe, I don't know. So now, if you want like a proper look at the Enterprise, there you go. It's a very nice cutaway view of the motion picture refit of the Enterprise. I think, honestly, I think this is one of the most beautiful models of the Enterprise. All the various ones that we've had over the years. Yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful ship. And I don't care what anybody says, I love that flyby with Kirk and Scotty in the travel pod. Like, come on. Like, if you appreciate practical effects to any extent, like I do, you really appreciate the beauty of that scene. Not to mention the fact that you've got that incredible Jerry Goldsmith score, which, of course, later became the Star Trek The Next Generation theme. Yeah. And here we have the backing, which will give you all the information about what's on the set. So, as you can see, it does have all 3 cuts, including the special longer version. And, oh, and some newly discovered deleted scenes and footage. Very cool. So, yeah, it's it's as deluxe as it gets, really. I mean, there's so much stuff on here. I never expected the motion picture to get this kind of deluxe treatment, but as a longtime fan of this movie that unfortunately a lot of people just don't seem to appreciate for whatever reason, it's just too slow-paced for them or whatever, I love it, and I could not be happier with this edition, and this is one that I will cherish for many, many years to come. So this is the definitive version of the motion picture with my favorite cut. Actually, I'll slide this in the other way, I think. Yeah, there we go. I always try not to have it where the lip is, because then the insert just gets caught in there, and you're like, trying to get it in there. Anyway, that's very cool. Next up, we of course have the Next Generation movies. Yes, all four of them. We got Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis. Some lovely pictures on the back there. We got the spine and the top. UPC on the bottom. And there. So just a single case for this one, but I'm pretty sure this also includes the Blu-rays. Not as many movies, so they didn't need as much packaging, I guess. So we'll just shut that aside. Oh, sorry. Got to show you how it looks without the wrapping, because it looks so different. Here we go. Beautiful. Yes, I just hiccuped. Shush. I don't know why. Just so excited I can't stop hiccuping, I guess. And there we go. And we just crack it open. Yeah, we got our digital codes, one for each movie. And here we go. Are our discs falling out? Yes, yes they are. Hold on a second. Come on, get in there. There we go. Alright, so we got, first off, oh my god. Fix your damn cases. Okay. So, first up, we got Generations, and then we got First Contact, and Big Erections, and Nemesis. And then we have the Blu-rays falling out all over the place. Great. I was about to praise the fact that they're on individual trays, Paramount. You're making it difficult. Alright, so we got that. And then, oh, and look, the other one. I'm going to have to wipe these trays. I've seen this on a lot of trays. They get that, like, weird sort of film on them. It's not on the discs. Just the trays. I don't know what it is. Anyway, Blu-rays, 4Ks, all in the same box. Very nice. Alright, anyway, you get the idea. And last but most certainly not least, we have everybody's favorite, the Kelvinverse trilogy, which I know every Star Trek fan considers the definitive version of Star Trek out of all the various versions that are out there. Yes, that was sarcasm. I know fans are very divided on them. I already gave my thoughts on these. Yeah, I mean, they were actually talking about doing a fourth one, but apparently some of the actors were just not available or wanted a little too much money or what have you. Lovely. Anyway. There we go. And there we go. And there. And there we go. Now, will these stay in place? Okay. Feature film and special feature. One whole entire special feature. Excellent. Okay. I have to double check how many extras are on here. So then we have, oh, okay, they actually have on the Blu-rays, I think. Yeah, so it looks like the 4Ks are just the movie for the most part, to maximize the quality, I guess. But then the extras are on the Blu-ray. So where are we going here? There we go. And there. And is that it? That is it. That's weird. Why is this one gray? Feature film special features, feature film special features, feature film special features. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this just includes everything that was on the previous releases, including the retailer exclusive stuff. Let me just take a quick look here. Yeah, it looks like they're pretty loaded. They do have the commentary tracks. I know those were originally like, you had to download the commentaries. Like, ugh, why? No, Beyond does not have a commentary. Interesting. Star Trek and Into Darkness do, though. Anyway, cool. Good to have these all upgraded to 4K. And I guess for the sake of completeness, if you were at all curious about... well, first off, we of course have the Star Trek Compendium, speaking of the Kelvinverse. This is the infamous one that included all of the extras that were previously retailer exclusives compiled together into one definitive collection. So I'm probably going to hang on to this. Also, it's just a beautiful set, honestly. I really like the package art on this. And nothing on the back. It's just black. Back in black. But this has all of the extras for the first two. And then, and it looks like the new set is pretty comprehensive as far as extras for Beyond and Into Darkness. If you just take a look there, there's quite a list for both of them. But if there's anything missing, well, we know we've got it all for the first two movies right here. So, very nice. If you wanted to take a look at the version of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, that came out a while back. Very nice. Quite a lot of extras on this as well. I wonder how many of these are ported over to the other set. And then inside, I think it's just all the same. Yeah. So they did, I mean, they did, when they had the error that they had to correct, or errors, they did full re-releases in the US and Canada. So you may notice this is the Canadian version because of all the French stuff on it. And there you go. And well, that's it. So this does include both cuts, by the way. The theatrical cut, which is 113 minutes, and the director's cut, which is 116. So 3 minutes difference. Very cool. Easily one of my favorite movies. I love the fact that this is a sequel to such a banger episode of the original series. And if you want a closer look at that banner, the 50th anniversary banner, there you go. Nice and shiny. Very classy. So basically I just really wanted to support these releases as a fan and to show that yes, I appreciate your remastering effort. Please do more. Please, 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 please. And well, it took a while, but they did eventually. So last but most certainly not least, I thought we'd take a look at the famous DVD collections that were my only copies of the movies for a very long time. But these are actually really nice editions, loaded with extras, as you can see. You crack it open. They come with little booklets as well. Quite nice. How much information is in here? A little bit. Yeah, so if we look at this, we have... Oh, look, it's Robert Wise again. There we go. This is probably the same note that's in the other set, too. And then here. And there you go. So quite a load of stuff. They do include deleted scenes from the TV version, but that's it. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, I will always honestly cherish these editions. They're just terrific. It was nice to have such at the time, such just huge deluxe editions of of the movies. So this again is the director's edition. This is the director's cut. So actually, the Blu-ray, presented the theatrical cut for the first time in a while. So this was the director's edition, which has been the only version available, at least on these releases. I'm not sure about the other DVD or the other Blu-rays. I didn't care enough to look. But since they released the director's cut Blu-ray, I know that that's been the definitive presentation of them. And it's been kind of the norm ever since. So we go Star Trek 3, Search for Spock. So we thought at the time we were going to get like director's cuts of all of them, because we got 1 and 2, both director's editions, and then from there on it was just special collector's edition. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah, very cool. Oh, wait a minute, we got a booklet with this one. Wait a minute, did I get skunked out of a book for number 2? Well, that's annoying if that's the case. That kind of irritates me. Now I kind of want to track down and confirm that. So we have this lovely, lovely booklet, just shiny, like silver. And then inside we got just a little list of the contents there. Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a book with Star Trek 2. Like, of all the ones to not have the book for, like one of my favorite ones, Anyway. Then we got Star Trek 4. I love how this started off just as a basic-ass update, and now it's just turned into a full-blown closer look at my Star Trek collection. Well, I don't think I've ever done a video about these, so I figured, well, while I've got them out and we're talking about them, we might as well show them. Yeah, you know what? There's a booklet for this one, too. I think I got skunked out of the book for number 2. Well, that sucks. Well, if anyone has a spare booklet they want to send me, please do. Or a version of the set that has the booklet. And there we go. Quite a lot of stuff here. Does this have Leonard's intro from the Laserdisc? Because I remember I have the Director's Edition Laserdisc of Star Trek 4. And it has an intro from Leonard Nimoy where he talks about widescreen. And how, as a director, he likes to... he prefers the widescreen version. Sometimes he likes to see the character who's listening, not just the character who's speaking, because you talk about how like in the pan and scan full screen versions they kind of pan to the character that was speaking, but he said sometimes it's more important to see the character that's listening. That was an interesting point that he made. But it was a really interesting little feature. I have seen it around before. I don't see that it's on here, but yeah. I don't know. I think it is on one of the other releases, though. I'm not sure. Well, failing that, I know you can find it on YouTube. So here's good old Star Trek 5, which I know is everybody's favorite. William Shatner desperately asking Leonard what to do through the entire movie, because Leonard was actually a really good director. Yeah, it's interesting to me how many Star Trek actors have become directors, some more successfully than others. Leonard Nimoy was certainly successful. Jonathan Frakes has actually become quite a good director as well. I just finished watching the 2014 to 2018 series, The Librarians, which was based on a trilogy of movies called The Librarian. And it's a fun kind of Indiana Jones type thing with touching on a lot of different mythologies and magic and legends and stories and stuff. But anyway, I mention it because Jonathan Frakes actually directed a good chunk of them and was a producer on a good chunk of them as well. And finally we have Star Trek 6. Yeah, every one of these has had a booklet so far. There we go. Oh, I jinxed it. No booklet in this one. Alright, so Star Trek 2 and 6. I did not get a booklet. Alright, then we got Generations, the first of the Next Generation movie, kind of the passing of the torch movie, if you will. Yeah, kind of mixed feelings on this one. It has some good moments, but I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with the plot a few times. Or they might have just stopped doing insert books. That's entirely possible as well. Nice colorful discard on this one, though. Like, far more so than the others. Yeah, take a look there. Very nice. Alright. I did always like this cover, though. Having both Kirk and Picard there. Very nice. So, I mean, as a passing of the torch movie, it's not bad, but this is where the Next Generation movies really came into their own, though. First Contact. Oh, so good. I love First Contact. Can't wait to see this bad boy in 4K. I'm pretty sure I saw this one in theaters, too. Yep. Well, so far pretty consistently absent with the insert books. Looks like, I guess, just the first 5 movies got them. And then Insurrection. But you can see, like, these are really... Come on, where's the... There it is. These are really nice sets. And pretty loaded with extras, too. Yeah, and this... And then this one has really nice discard. Why did they not do nice discard for First Contact? Why are they only doing nice discard for the ones nobody cares about? Just to try to make them a little bit more attractive, I guess? I don't know. Anyway. Very cool. And last, but most certainly not least, my introduction to the artistry of Tom Hardy, Star Trek Nemesis. There we go. This one I did see in theaters because when it came out, I was working at the movie theater, so I actually got to see it for free. Which was pretty nice. I remember when we got this in the movie theater, actually. It was the month after we had the Jackass movie. I got to tell you, as someone who not only ran the shows, I was a projectionist, and ripped the tickets. And I swear I just ran the whole damn thing myself. At least that's how it felt sometimes. As one who also had to clean the theaters after every show, the Jackass crowd was such slobs. Like, just garbage everywhere, empty booze. Like, people would smuggle booze in and just get loaded over the course of the movie. Like, it was just the worst. But freaking hilarious movie. I went to see that one too and just laughed until my face hurt. But, so we get the Star Trek movie in a few weeks later. Completely different experience. I swear that we barely had anything to clean up after. The Star Trek crowd was so much cleaner and nicer than the Jackass crowd. Like, it was crazy. Anyway, I love the Trekkies. Love them all. And there we go. I say as if I'm not one of them myself. But as I'm showing off my incredibly nerdy Star Trek collection. And that is Nemesis. And if you want to see how this whole collection looks, they put this out in box sets as well. You could get like a box set that had everything. And there you go. There. Okay, there you go. And that's the whole set. Very nice. And I like how consistent they are with them all being the same, like double thick keep cases and everything. Just a beautiful collection that I am glad to finally be able to retire, but obviously keeping for it just being a beautiful set and all the wonderful extras on it, which I don't know are all ported over or not. But either way, I just love this collection, and it holds so many happy memories for me of, well, rewatching the Star Trek movies. So, I just noticed something. So, this is the original crew set, right? And then this is the Next Generation set. Okay, very nice. We flip this around. This is actually printed on the back of the box. But here, this is actually a backing sheet. So, yeah, I don't know if I want to take that. I mean, there's nothing underneath it. It's just like space. So, that's kind of weird. I wonder why they did that. I'm kind of in two minds about it. Do I want to take it off or If I take it off, will it even fit in the box? I think it's a little too big, actually. I don't know. Should we try? Let's try. I hate having these loose papers on the back. So take that off. Take that off. And there you go. Space! So we're going to take the the snot glue off. Just 2 little spots there. Not even like 4. They just did 2. But yeah, 'cause the motion picture set had the backing as well, and I put that into the case. It fit quite tidily in there. So we'll see if this one does too. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna make sure we get all the snot glue off. I hate this shit. Some of them come off more easily than others too. But all right. Moment of truth time. Well, we'll slide this out. And can we slide this in? Yes! It just fits. Just barely. Look at that. Beautiful. Excellent. Well, now I'm happy, because now it can be nicely, safely snug in there. Ah, shit. Hold on. See, it's getting it, it's catching on the lip again, right? So what I do is I do it this way. So the flap is on top, slide it in like that, and then just let it fall naturally to the bottom, and then we can put the case in without damaging anything. There you go. Pro tip for you. Alrighty. And there you go. Yeah, the movies were always really important to me in terms of my personal Trek fandom, because they were my main introduction to Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek the Motion Picture I saw in theaters. Star Trek 2 I saw in theaters. The first time I saw Star Trek the Motion Picture, I was bored out of my mind because I was 7. I was very much part of the Star Wars generation, so the lack of action was, uninteresting to me. But as I got older, I came to appreciate Star Trek for what it brings to the science fiction table. Which is, quite a bit different than Star Wars. Star Wars is a lot more mythology-based and more action-oriented, whereas Star Trek, well, sure, it has its fair share of action as well, is a little bit more intellectual and, gets into politics and social commentary and things like that. And, not generally stuff the typical 7-year-old is into. But Star Trek 2 I thought was great because that was, a lot more action. Star Trek 3 was more action. Star Trek 4 was, had the comedy aspect when they went back in time. And Star Trek 5 was Star Trek 5. Star Trek 6 was just a brilliant political thriller. Star Trek 7 I saw in the theaters with friends when I was briefly in university, and it was all right. It had its moments. I don't think it's the strongest one. Star Trek 8, First Contact, absolutely one of my favorites. Love that movie so much, despite its little continuity gaffes with established Star Trek canon at the time. Zephram Cochrane is a little bit different than he was in the original series. But it's just such a great movie that I really had no problem with that, and it's absolutely the best of the Next Generation movies. What was it? Insurrection, I thought was okay. But it didn't feel like a movie to me, per se. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like a 2-hour-long Star Trek The Next Generation episode. Like, it didn't feel like there was anything special about it where it needed to be a big screen movie. Nemesis felt more movie-like. It just wasn't a very great story. And that was my introduction to Tom Hardy as well, who I absolutely love as an actor, and I think he's amazing. But that was the first thing I saw him in, and I really just did not like him or that character in that movie. So, I know now that's the movie's fault. It's not Tom Hardy's fault, because Tom Hardy is frickin' awesome. Love him as Mad Max in Fury Road. I still need to see the Venom movies, actually. I should get on that. But yeah, I've enjoyed him in pretty much everything. Bane, obviously, and even though I'm not a big fan of the character of Bane, I thought he was terrific in it, in the third Dark Knight movie. And yeah, and then that was the last we had of sort of classic Trek for a long time until we got the new shows, which we talked about last time. And then, of course, we have the Kelvinverse trilogy. Just briefly, most of you who have been viewers of my channel for a long time will know that I actually really liked the first one, flaws and all. But I thought the cast was terrific. I enjoy a good alternate universe story, so that was interesting to me, sort of seeing how things could go in a different direction if this one key event had happened differently, right? I like stuff like that, and but unfortunately a lot of fans didn't, and they felt that it was destroying the established canon. No, it didn't destroy anything. It's an alternate universe, people. You're watching Star Trek. How can you not be familiar with alternate universes? They go into them all the time. So, anyway, that aside, I enjoyed the first one. Into Darkness had some good moments. I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but he's no Khan. Come on. And why the frick were they doing Khan again, anyway? Khan was done. You cannot touch the original Wrath of Khan, or Space Seed, or just generally Ricardo Montalban as Khan. You can't touch it. Leave it alone. I mean, it's a universe of characters and aliens and planets and people and places, and why do you just have to go back with Khan again, you know? And they went back to it in a way that I felt kind of shat on the original legacy. Like, how fucking dare you try to redo the iconic Kirk and Spock scene from the end of Wrath of Khan with the roles reversed and doing a little flip-flop. Oh, we're doing it the same but different. Isn't that cool, kids? No! It's not! It's stupid, pointless, and completely unnecessary. Why? So, I don't understand why they did that. Like, there's so many other things they could have done. So, yeah. Not thrilled with Into Darkness. Beyond, however, much improved. That felt like a frickin' Star Trek story. So, yeah. Anyway, there's my mini reviews of all the Star Trek movies. Anyway, yeah, overall, I like the Kelvinverse, and I watch, even the second one I'll watch again just for the cast, honestly, because I think the up-and-coming young actors that they got to play those classic characters were great. Zachary Quinto as young Spock, oh, what a revelation. Amazing. Chris Pine as young Kirk, brash and arrogant and full of himself, just the way young Kirk should be. You know, oh my God, Carl Urban as Bones, channeling the spirit of DeForest Kelley. Like, come on, great stuff. Love it. I'm getting a bit of deja vu. I think I've said all this before. Probably when I was talking about this. Anyway, I think that about covers everything. But there's still some more Star Trek to talk about. And we'll save that for next time. Yeah, a few little additions, little odds and ends to slide into the collection that I think you might find interesting. But we'll talk about those next time. Well, that is it from me to you for now, so I will see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.